I moved to California when I was 1, when my father was drafted for Vietnam, and they stationed him at Mare Island. And my brother was born a year later at Travis Air Force Base. So this neck of the woods is sort of home in my earliest memories. So since our speaker couldn't make it, we just wanted to hear her speak. I was hoping to just say, hi, I'm running. But I'll say a few words since I'm here.
You can say it twice.
I'll say it twice. So as running around the state, one thing that I noticed, and why am I running for treasurer, is when you go visit all 58 counties, it's a really diverse state. I mean, when you show up in Modoc, which for those who don't know is the far northeast, they never have met anyone running for anything. And they're just like, we're so glad you're here. They almost, as a matter of fact, as my wife would say, we actually have people in Modoc, Alturas is the county seat there, that actually broke down and cried at the bar because they were so hit by COVID. Yeah. And a lot of the state, if you're fine if you're in Silicon Valley, you're fine if you're Gavin Newsom, but a lot of the people were really, suffering. And we saw it, and they were just grateful that we showed up. But one of the reasons I'm running for treasurer is that, and we were speaking to this just now, which is why I said, should I take the mic, is when you go to the 58 counties, you don't see a lot of support from the California Republican Party to the counties. You see certain counties who are in wealthy areas, or they've got a Republican congressman, and you meet on golf courses, and they're fine. And you know what? It's easy to be a Republican in parts of Orange County. But here in the Bay Area, as I always joke, it's like we're behind enemy lines. And this is like our safe house where we all meet. But I do think, for the first time I noticed they actually listed all the counties, California Republican Party, on their website. And some of these counties do not have proper representation. They're literally just on paper. But when you go into the communities, instead of just going to Republican events, I actually went to chambers of commerce. I went to the economic development office. We went to it took us a long time. There are 78 district and county fairs. And my wife and I went to all of them. Wow. Sometimes we were doing 3 fairs in a weekend. And we really got out there and met the people. So when you go meet the people, they are like, we need help. And I feel like it is not the California Republican Party. It's not I grew up in Half Moon Bay and have a Silicon Valley background. In that area, it's like we're the ATM machine. Candidates fly in to the airport hotel, $1,000 a plate, fly out. And I think also a lot of our money that's raised in the state, and a lot of the efforts go to other states, it's sort of like, what about us? So I think one of the reasons I'm running for treasurer, is that I want, that's next. The first thing I'm going to do is audit the books. Like audit the books and say, where are we spending our money? And this month in January, my wife and I went to the Republican National Committee winter meeting. Did anyone here go? No. They held it in Dana Point at the Waldorf Astoria.
Holy Moses, that's why.
Waldorf Astoria. Yeah. So I had never been to the Waldorf Astoria. And my wife and I, we went to their steakhouse there for dinner. We decided, just so you know, I'm a Best Western kind of guy. And I love Best Westerns. Get in, get out, in the morning. We stayed at the beach at the Best Western. Far more cooler people, I'll say, at the Best Western. But when you went there, $1,000 a night. This is Republican money, donors, hardworking people that are spending it. And one of the people that flew in on his own was John Rich from the country band Big and Rich. I don't know if you heard, he went. But he was so unhappy about how money was being spent. I encourage you to look at his Twitter page and look what he said, but he basically said, you know, I didn't even come here, I flew in here from Tennessee, and I've stayed at some fancy hotels, and I've never seen anything like this. This is ridiculous. $1,000 a night hotel, you know, celebrity chef restaurant. My wife and I did a little Spurs stay and went and ate at the restaurant, but it was not a good use of money. And the other thing that John Rich said, which I agree with, is if you want to reach out to the average Republican, don't stay here. You go to the DoubleTree at the Dallas airport, you know? And I think that's kind of my message, is that the Republicans need to be more lean and mean, and they also need to be more conscientious, and they need to reach out to the counties. So the three things I'm going to do is, one, audit the books. Two, there has been a little bit of like when I wanted to speak at one county, which I won't name, they said you could speak and be endorsed, but you have to pay us $30,000.
Whoa.
And my opponent paid the $30,000 I did not. I wasn't allowed to speak. That's not a good Republican practice.
So
So,
that wasn't a Democrat?
well, there might be a few. I'll just say we've all heard the name Republican, the name all. So I'd say audit the books, look at our practices, see where the money's being spent, and third, reach out to the counties. We should almost be, as counties, and like my county, your county, we're almost like the customer service rep for the Republican Party in the county. When people are in trouble, they want to come hear what's going on. How are they influenced? They don't go to Sacramento, they go to their local county. So there needs to be more support. So again, David Fennell, running for Republican Party Treasurer for California. And again, audit the books, look at some of these pay-to-play processes with consultants, and three, make sure the counties are properly funded. Thank you very much. I just started coming in here, it's great, but I'd love to take a ton of questions if anyone has any.